Hi, welcome to this episode of Academic Writing. I am Lee Hall, Associate Professor of Literacy Studies at the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Today we are going to be talking about how do you handle revisions. So when you get a manuscript back and it says revise and resubmit and you decide that yes, you do want to revise and resubmit, which you probably should do, what do you do with these revisions, okay? Before we move on with that, I do want to say that if you have questions about the writing process and you would like for me to address them in future videos, please email me, leahall39@gmail.com. All right, so this is actually not that complicated. What do you do with your revisions that you get? You do them, all right? Now, how many of them do? You do all of them, okay? So here's the thing, when you get revisions, and sometimes you're going to get a lot of revisions, like you're going to get pages and pages and pages of revisions, okay? And it's going to seem overwhelming, and you're going to read them, and you're going to think this person is stupid, this is a terrible thing to suggest, or that information's already in there, I totally did that, or the way that I've done it is better. No, that's not going to get you anywhere, okay? Let that happen. Go ahead and read the revisions and, grumble and be angry and be frustrated and get defensive and do it. Spend a day. Let yourself just be irritated if you want to. Okay, give yourself permission to grumble and bitch about it. And then the next day, get on with it. Okay? And I'm telling you this for your own good. Just get on with it. Get over yourself. All right? I will tell you that when I am done revising a piece, and I do this, I have a day typically where I grumble and complain and moan and groan about the revision request, okay? But I do them all for the most part. I'll tell you why you might not do a couple in a second, but I do them all, and at the end, my paper is always better. Like, I've never finished a revise and resubmit and thought, man, that looks worse than what I sent in. No, I've never thought that. I've always thought, oh my goodness, this looks so much better, okay? So you won't necessarily see that at the beginning, all right? And you might even take it personally, the things that they're asking you to do, but they're not personal, okay? It's all about writing. It's all about making the paper better. And even if you can't see it, I promise you, when you're done, if you have done what is asked, your paper is going to be better. So just buck up and do it. Now, you might, let's say you get 20 different revisions. There might be one or two that you don't do, okay? Some of these sometimes it's legitimate to not do them, but you have to be able to explain back to the editor and the reviewers why you didn't do them. So, for example, sometimes reviewers ask for information that really is already in your paper and they just missed it. And it has nothing to do with you, okay? It has to do with they just missed it. So for example, let's say you're writing up a study and you had 200 participants and you say 200 people participated in this study and the information is right where it should be. It's not in some weird place. And a reviewer said, you didn't say how many people participated in the study. Well, you did, okay? You don't need to point that error out to the reviewer. You don't need to say, hey, I already did that. You can just say 200 people participated in the study. You will find this information on page 12 under the section of participants or whatever, right? Just direct them to where that is, okay? So, and it looks like you did the revision even though you didn't, right? So sometimes the information's already there. Sometimes reviewers, like reviewer 1 tells you to do one thing, reviewer 2 contradicts what reviewer 1 said, okay? And sometimes the editors will tell you what they want you to do, right? Do what reviewer 1 says, not reviewer 2. But sometimes they don't, okay? I don't know why. Maybe they don't catch it, but sometimes they don't. So you have to sort this out yourself and decide what you're going to do. And then you just have to explain, right? Like, I didn't understand how I could incorporate what reviewer 1 and reviewer 2 said in this particular part of my paper. So here's what I've decided to do. And if you all think it doesn't work, let me know and I can try something else, okay? So sometimes if something contradicts, you're going to have to make a decision and sort it out, but justify it, okay? That's really, the only things I've had experience with where I would see like you don't do the revision. Otherwise, suck it up and do it. The other thing that it's going to help you to understand is if you look at the critiques and the revision requests as legitimate. This really helped me a lot. So a reviewer might say something that they don't understand, something they want more information about. And my response personally might be that that's already well written. I've already done a good job with that. That information is there and it makes sense as it is. I don't need to change it. But over time, what I've realized is for that person as a reader, the way I have my piece set up is not working for them. Okay. So that's my reader, that's my audience, and I want my piece to work for them. So I need to listen to what they have to say and then try to make these revisions to my piece so that they can understand it better, so that they can get the information that's important to them. So think about it. It's easy to think of requests and critiques as being dumb or not very good or any number of things, right? We get defensive. It's our baby. We've worked really hard on it. But if you think about it as, hey, this person's just not getting it for some reason, right? How I've communicated isn't working for them. I want them as a reader to totally get what I'm saying. Let me make it better for them. It takes the sting out a little bit. I think it's a really helpful way to look at it. So you do need to do the revisions. You basically need to do all of them. You will not like all of them. I typically don't like probably 50% of them, but I promise you that at the end, your paper is going to be so much better, and you'll really be amazed at that.